Hi guys, it's me Terry of the Yarnjoy podcast. Welcome to the third installment of our fall graph-along. This is the third and final piece of the wall hanging project that I designed, and in the description box below I will have links to some where you could get the charts to print them out to work on this project, plus some links to some tutorials. This is a corner-to-corner stitch panel, and if you don't know the basics on how to do the corner-to-corner stitch, there's some tutorial. There is a tutorial that I did both for a square and then for a rectangle, which is what this piece will be, and I will link them down below in the description box. I also have I will have the link to the first and the second, or the first two panels or pieces of this project also linked below. So what you need for this project is only two colors, a background color and a color for the letters. I tried to pick out some colors that I thought that was kind of fall colored, or fall hues, I guess you'd say. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver. My background color is going to be this Red Heart Super Saver in gold, and I went ahead and made up three bobbins. Because of the working around the letters, you may have to have several pieces connected to you of the same color. I mean, not to you, connected to your piece. And then also for the letters, I picked this red, and I believe this was something that was given to me, and I think it is Karen Simply Soft, just because of the shine that's on it, but it didn't have a label, and so I'm not sure what color red this is, but I just picked I picked it because I thought it was kind of an autumn red color. But use whatever colors that you want to go along with your other two squares, or you can use this piece in a different project just separately on its own if you prefer. Okay, and then I'm using an F crochet hook, which is a 3.75 millimeter, and a pair of scissors and pencil, and a yarn needle for for the ends that we'll be weaving in. And I also got a couple of extra bobbins because I'm not sure if I have enough made up. Like I said, I did 3 of these, and then I have 3 also of these. So I don't know if there'll be any part where we'll have more connected, but I have these just in case. Now this is a jumbo jumbo clothespin that I got at Dollar Tree, a 6-pack for $1, and they're just these plastic spring clothespins, and they work really well for this type of project. But you don't have to use that. You can just have your yarn rolled up in little balls, and so however you want to do it, if you have a different kind of bobbins to use. But I do recommend this. For me, they work really well with all the corner-to-corner projects I've done. Okay, so I think that's it of the preliminary. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to start at the bottom corner here, so I'm going to zoom up just a little bit so you can see the bottom part of our graph. And we will start down in this corner right here, and you see that it is our background color. So I'm going to take my yarn and get started with this corner to corner. So slip knot and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'm going to make my first square. So I'm going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And then double crochet again in the next chain, and double crochet again in the next chain. Okay, that is our first square, which on the chart would be this right here. Now, as all the other graphs, we're going to be working in a serpentine fashion back and forth, okay? So I started here going down, now I'm going to turn and come back up, and I'm going to go this direction. See my little arrow? I'm going to go back up this way, and now I need to have 2 of my background colors, okay? So, increasing, you chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, double crochet in the next chain, and double crochet in the next chain. Okay, now this original one that you made, flip this up to the top, and now you're going to connect it, and you're going to insert your hook from front to back between the chain 3 loop and the first double crochet with a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that makes our second block of that row. See, 1, 2, see that? So coming over to our chart, that is this one and that one. Okay, now we're going to come up and we're going to turn the corner and go back down, and now we're going to go, we need 1 of our background color. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say this is yellow, so 1 yellow, 1 red, and then 1 yellow. Okay, so that means since there's this red, this letter that's going to be in between these 2, we're going to end up with, we're going to need 1 bobbin for yellow to do this side, and we need 1 to do that side also. Okay, and then a red in the middle. Okay, so right here we need 1 yellow, so let's get that first one done. So chain up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double crochet 4th chain from the hook, double crochet in the next chain, double crochet in the next chain. Okay, flip that up, and then slip stitch into that chain, that loop there that was the chain 3 of the square below. Champ 3, 1, 2, oh, sorry, I already made a mistake. Okay, undo, okay, there. So you made your square, and now you're going to connect it with the chain, with the slip stitch. Okay, but since we're going to add in our red, we need to do that right here. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, just pulling out some yarn here. Okay, now I'm going to connect my red yarn by pulling it from the back, pulling the loop up and doing a slip stitch, snugging up this yellow, and then continuing on. So 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets, and I'm working over my straggler. Ooh, my finger's in the way. Working over my straggler back there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we're going to put our hook in there to make a slip stitch to connect it to that square. But if we look on our chart, we did this yellow one, and then we just did this red one, and now we need another yellow one. So now I'm going to bring in another yellow bobbin and connect that one. So join my yarn with a slip stitch through that loop to connect those 2 squares together, just like we've been doing, and then snug up the red, and then keep going. 1, 2, 3. This will be our 3rd square for that row. And 3. Okay, so we just did 1 yellow, 1 red, and now 1 yellow. Now we're going to turn the corner, and we're going to go back up this way, and we're going to do 1 yellow, 2 red, and 1 yellow. Okay, so let's do that one. Getting some more yarn here. Okay, so chain up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just do it the same way that we've been doing it. Double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then into the next chain, and the next chain, because remember, each block has always got a chain 3 and 3 double crochets, and that forms our one square for our graph. Okay, now we pull this up. Okay, so now we're going to connect it, but we're looking at it here, and this is this one right here that we just made, this one. Okay, so now we need 2 red ones. Okay, so since we turned this up, we essentially we turned our work, and so we need to straighten our bobbins out a little bit. That one goes over there. This yellow one needs to go on this side. Okay, and then the red one over there. Okay, so now they're in the right position that we need them in. Okay, so we're going to pick up our red. We're going to insert our hook and then pull that red through from the back in a slip stitch to connect those 2 squares together. Snug this yellow one up, and then do chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets to make our next square. Oops. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and for this row, remember it said we needed 2 reds, so go ahead and connect that one to that square going up the stair steps. 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets. 1, oops, 2, whoop, and 3. Okay, and now we're going to slip stitch to this square, but we're going to pick up our yellow again. Oh, and let me show you now. Okay, this yellow is down here. Before inserting our hook, we need to pull this yellow between these 2 squares, okay? Okay, see that? Between the squares to the back, because we need to put our hook in from the front, okay? And then we need to pull that yarn, that yellow yarn from the back up to the front with a slip stitch, and then snug up our red, and then go ahead and make our square for the top there. So 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now since this is the 3rd project in our 3rd graph that we've been following in these set of tutorials that I've done with you, I'm assuming that you know by now you know the single crochet. What am I trying to say? Sorry. Okay, so since you have seen the corner to corner, or have done the corner to corner stitch with the other graphs, and also you have followed my earlier tutorial, if need be, for the basic corner to corner stitch, I'm going to go ahead and let you continue on your own, and you'll be following the graph. So this is the one we just did. We had 1 yellow, and then we did 2 red, so mark those 2 out, and then we did 1 yellow at the top. See that? So now we're going to come up, and then we're going to go down this row, starting with that yellow one right there. Okay, so this one would be 1 yellow, 3 reds, and 1 yellow, and then you come from here. You're going to go up and go turn the corner, and then go back up this way. Okay, so you're doing this serpentine fashion. So I'm going to go ahead and let you work on your own until you come up this row where you're going to come out right here. You're going to finish that one that's by that 19 on your chart, and then I'll just pause the video here and then finish up that. And then when you finish that square coming up, and you're going to turn the corner and start going down this row, I will meet you up there, and then we'll do another row together. Okay, so I just finished this row, came out to the square next to where the 19 is. I'm ready to turn the corner and go down this way, starting with the square next to where it says 20 on the graph. And just to check to make sure that we're getting the correct squares down, we had 2 yellows, 1 red, then we had 4 yellows in the middle, 1 red, and then 2 yellows at the top. Okay, so which is correct with our chart. Okay, so And you can see that since we went through that red one and we also went through this red one, that we are actually finished with the letter L, which means we are finished with the red ones for this letter. So go ahead and cut off your yarn, leave a tail to weave in. Okay, so we're about to add it right back in again, but we are finished with that letter L. Okay, so now I can see from my work that I've got several tails here and here and here, so I'm going to go ahead and do a tail check, which means I'm going to pause and weave in my ends. So if you want to pause the video now, weave in your ends, and then we will get started with the next row. Okay, I got my tails weaved in, so I'm ready to continue. Okay, so we just finished this square right here, which is the one that's next to the 19 on the chart. Now we're going to, as the way that we've been doing it, we're going to turn the corner and then go up, and then we're going to go back down the chart, starting with the square that's next to the 20 right there. We're going to need one yellow, and then we're going to have to add back in our red because we're starting our next L for our letter here. And then we're going to one yellow, one red, and then we're going to pick up the yellow, and then the yellow is going to continue all the way down to the bottom of the chart. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yellows. Okay, so let's get that done here. Okay, so the first one is a yellow, so chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double crochet fourth chain from the hook to make our square, and then this next double crochet in the next chain, and then double crochet in the next chain, and then that's our first square. That's the yellow square here on the chart right here going down. Okay, so now we need to add in a red to start our next letter. Okay, but as you see, we're on this side of the fabrics or project, so that means we need to turn our work. Okay, now our work is large enough now that I feel like I want to go ahead and use the bobbins the way you're supposed to use them. Anyway, so you wind up the yarn and you clip your bobbin onto the work. Okay, and then this one I'm just going to hold on to it because I got to hold on to my hook here anyway. So then you turn it over, okay, and then you unhook your bobbins, and now you're ready. Okay, so we just made this square. Make sure it's not twisted around here. Okay, we need to connect it to that next stair step up as we go up this chart, up this project here. So insert our hook from the back to the front to the back. We need to add in, because we're going to do this red square right there on the L. So we need to add in a red, or whatever color you're using for your letters. Slip stitch, pulling it from the back through the front in through your loop for a slip stitch. Tighten up that yellow and continue on with your red. We just need one red square. Chain 3 and 3 double crochets for your square. Okay, now we're going to change back to the yellow, and we're going to continue all the way up this project with just the yellow. Okay, so here's our square. We need to connect it. Move that out of the way. We need to connect it to this square right there, right? So we insert our hook to make our slip stitch, but now we need to pick up our yellow, and our yellow is up here. So what we can do, since this square right here and the square above it right here, they're all going to be yellow squares. Okay, well, since they're both going to be yellow, we can just take this yellow, instead of cutting this and adding another one, we can just take this yellow right here, and then you just run it alongside. I kind of lay it here because it's going to be worked over when I make a square right there. So I lay it across there. I bring it down the square here to make sure I have enough slack underneath, okay, but not too much. And then I get it over here to where I need it. And then I kind of pinch the yarn to know about where the yarn needs to come through at. Oops. Oh, sorry, let's do that again. Okay, so let me go ahead and get it on my hands here. Okay, so you lay it across the top there, and then down, you're kind of going down that little stair step, kind of know where about here where you need to pull your yarn through, like that, okay? And then go ahead and do your slip stitch. Snug the red up. Okay, so you see you have this loop of yarn right there, but we're going to work over it. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then working over that loop, go ahead and finish our 3 double crochets for that square. So 1, 2, working over the loop, 3. So you just work over that slack right there. Okay, so now we need to join it, kind of push this to the back so you can see. We need to join it to this red square, doing the same thing. So inserting our hook, and then see how we're going to work over this loop here. You won't see it. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets working over that extra yellow there. 2, 3, okay, and then connect to the next square up with the slip stitch. Now we look at our work. See that yellow, you can't see it. Okay, that just kind of saves you a tail from having to cut and an extra tail that you have to weave in. Okay, so now we're going to work this all the way up to this corner. Okay, and see, we have this yarn right here, but since this yarn, this yellow, is going to go all the way up this line, we don't need this one right now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Just leave a tail so you have enough to weave in. Move that out of the way. Okay, so that way I'll only have 3 bobbins that I'm working with right now for the rest of this row here. Okay, so now yellow all the way up the stair steps. So I already connected with slip stitch, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then slip stitch to the next square. 1, 2, 3. Just go up your stair steps there. Connect to that one. Okay, connect to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we got to connect to that red square right there. Slip stitch and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, and then connect to this one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now let's check to see what we got here. Okay, so when we counted on our chart, I'm going to go ahead and count before I see if I have to make that last square or not. Let's count. Okay, so we did 1 yellow one, 1 red one, so mark that through, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're only going to do 8 yellow ones, okay? So let's see what we got here. So we got 1 yellow, 1 red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then with this one, that is 8. So see, this one, we are done. If you look at our chart, we are done all the way to the corner. So we've got this whole entire width taken care of now, okay? So for the 8, since this is our 8th yellow that we needed for that row, okay, on our chart, we're just going to connect it to this square with slip stitch, okay, but we are not going to go up and do that top one because we are already the width that we need, see, for that side, okay? So instead of chaining 6 and turning and going up, I'll show you just a minute. Let's go ahead and mark this off here. So we did these 8 yellow squares right here. So we come out here where the 2 is, and then we're going to turn the corner and go up, and then now we're going to start here where that 3 is, and we're going to go up this way, okay? So we've got to turn the corner. Okay, so we're not, remember we didn't do one up here, and so we're not going to chain 6, because if we chained 6 and then like we have been doing to make that other square, then it's going to make a square like up here, and so we don't want to do that because we've got the width that we need. Now we want to come up this side here level, you know, to make, well, it's like this, right? So this is like the bottom of our chart, see our L, okay? So now we're going to be going up this way like this, okay, to make our rectangle. That's it. Okay, so what we do is when we connect that with the slip stitch, we're going to chain 1. This is decreasing just like we've been doing on the other graphs once we got that one edge, the width that we needed, okay? So we chain 1. Now we're going to turn our work, and since we've only got 3 bobbins here, that's not too bad to untangle, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and now I'm going to put my bobbins in the right place, which is just these 3, so it's not that difficult. I mean, not that much of a problem to do it. Okay, so now we've turned our work. Okay, and now we need to go up this side because that first square is going to go right here, okay? So we're going to slip stitch across that square. 1, 2, 3, and then the top of the chain 3. Slip stitch. Okay, so now we're in the position to make our squares and go up our little stair steps there. Okay, so if we look at our chart, we're going to do a lot of yellow ones again. See, we're right here, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow ones. Okay, right across there, and then we'll do 2 red, and then 1 yellow up at the top. Okay, so now I'm going to let you work on it on your own for a little bit more here, and just keep going. You're going to start here at the bottom where we left off, and then just go up and then back down, then up and down in a serpentine but diagonal line fashion. Okay, and when you get to this point, when you finish the square right here that's next to the 27, then I will meet you back up. Okay, and that should be the point where you will be finished with the letter L, I think. Looks like it. Yeah. Right? Yeah, because we'll be starting down here. Yep, that's right. Okay, so keep going just the way we've been doing, and I'll meet you back when we are at the square. You just finished this square, which is where the 27 is on our chart. Okay?